T-Bird fans, we welcome you to a brand new edition of T-Bird Talk. I'm Cloud County Community College Sports Information Director Toby Nosker. On this week's edition of T-Bird Talk, we'll sit down with the head men's basketball coach at Cloud County Community College, Coach Kyle Pugh, as we'll preview the start to the 2025-2026 season for the Cloud County Community College men's basketball team. Tomorrow, the T-Bird men's basketball team will be competing at the MoKan Jamboree in Kansas City, Kansas. At 3:45 Friday afternoon, the T-Birds will take on Southeastern Community College before matching up with Highland Community College at 6:15. Both games will be played at the Homefield Showcase Center. The T-Bird men's basketball team will have one more exhibition contest awaiting them on Saturday, October 25th, when they'll travel to McPherson to match up with the McPherson Bulldogs. Cloud County will then open the 2025-2026 season at the Meridian Credit Union Classic in Iowa, hosted by Indian Hills Community College. The T-Birds tip off this year's campaign on Friday, October 31st at 4:30 p.m. when they match up with William Penn University JV. Then Saturday, November 1st at 3:30 p.m., Cloud County will match up with the host school in Indian Hills Community College. The home opener for Cloud County doesn't come until Wednesday, November 12th, when the T-Birds will host Kansas Wesleyan University JV. Today on T-Bird Talk, we're going to talk men's hoops with second-year head men's basketball coach Kyle Pugh. This is T-Bird Talk.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 Early Bird Scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
This week on T-Bird Talk, an opportunity to talk Cloud County Community College men's basketball as the Cloud County Community College men's basketball team continues a preseason competition this weekend as they'll be traveling to Kansas City, Kansas, Friday to take part in the MoKan Jamboree. The T-Birds will be matching up with Southeastern Community College as well as Highland Community College. They'll have one more exhibition contest coming up October 25th when they take on McPherson College before officially tipping off the 2025-2026 season on October 31st, taking part, in the Meridian Credit Union Classic hosted by Indian Hills Community College. Joining us, we have second-year Cloud County Community College head men's basketball coach Kyle Pugh. Coach, great to have you back. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. Just excited, getting ready for the season and just ready to get it going.
Before we talk about this year, let's kind of go back just a little bit to last year. Your first year as the head coach of the Thunderbirds, 14-18 overall. How did you feel like year one went?
Obviously we got off to a pretty good start there, and we were feeling pretty good and just, weren't able to keep that going. And I think that was a lot to do with, our details and some defensive lapses and everything like that. And then, we were playing some pretty small lineups at times. But overall, I think, we had a lot that we can improve on as a team, as a program, that sort of thing. And from a culture standpoint, in order to take the necessary steps forward. Didn't think that it went terrible. But, I think everybody in our locker room, from the guys who are returning to the guys who graduated, would say that, there was a lot more. There's some more meat still left on the bone. And we felt like we were playing our best basketball late. We just weren't able to get over that hump until later in the year.
Of course, picked up an exciting road win to open up the Region 6 tournament playoffs. So, as you said, feeling like you were coming into your own a little bit by the end of that season. We'll talk a little bit about the guys that are returning in this year's team in just a second. But now this is year number 2 for you as the head coach, second year that you've had an opportunity to work with your assistant coach, Matt Grantham. But coming off of last year, what was maybe for you the big learning lesson or the takeaway for you as a head coach? We'll talk about these guys wanting to better themselves in year 2. But what do you feel like you learned, or how did you grow as a coach in year 1 that you feel like is going to set you up maybe for more success this year and down the road as the coach of this program?
I think when you ask that, like in our program, like we're all about transparency and everything like that. And so like, if I'm going to ask our guys to be completely transparent, obviously I've got to be completely transparent with you here. And, something that I learned is like, we really ask our guys to, show great body language, have great energy, be a great teammate. And so, like when I was reviewing our film and everything and looking for improvements that we could make on the court, something that I noticed like about myself on the sidelines and everything was like I wasn't portraying the energy and the excitement that I want our guys to play with all the time, and just showing their passion for the game. I don't think that was intentional on my part, but that was something that like I'm really looking to improve on myself, is just helping our guys like feel like, man, like we're going to make mistakes. We're going to mess up, but like, let's do it going hard. Let's do it emptying the tank is what we talk about every day. And if we do that, then, we can fix all the rest of the stuff. We can fix the X's and the O's. We can watch film. We can become, we can be better as far as like playing together and as we feel each other out and everything. But, just instilling in our guys that, I do have the most confidence in them and constantly showing that.
3 players at the end of last season receiving all-conference honors, 2 of them returning this year. Elijah Savan, forward from France. He was a second-team all-KJCCC honoree a year ago, averaged just under 17 points per game on 55% shooting. Also led the team with 8.7 rebounds per game and 2 blocks a contest. And then guard Sincere Burnett out of Raleigh, North Carolina. He was an honorable mention, all-KJCCC player after averaging 12.3 points per game, had a team best mark of 45.2% from 3-point range. I know, really excited to be able to return those guys to this year's team and see the growth that they can have now in year number 2.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're really excited about all of our returners. Something that we didn't get a chance or an opportunity to really have any returns. We had Roy and we had Matt, but Matt didn't play. He redshirted the year before, and so then Roy, he didn't have a huge role on the team the year before last, and so like this year we feel like these are 5 guys that we're bringing back who understand that what we're trying to do day in, day out in practice, how we're trying to operate on and off the court, and Sincere and Elijah are a big part of that, and they've been counted on heavily in practice here early on to kind of show our new guys the way and everything. And to be honest, like Quill Acott, Amari Johnson, MJ Stackhouse, like they're a huge part of that too. I mean, Quill Acott, the last 2 days, like he's dove on the floor like 5 times, and that's been in non-5-on-5 drills, and that's something that in my chair, in my seat, like you love to see, just because it's like hopefully it's starting to click for him on like just making those daily deposits every single day, and showing these young guys what it's about.
Quill and Amari, of course, back. MJ, a transfer into the program, somebody that you had an opportunity to work with, didn't play last year, will get his opportunity this season. When you came into the position, though, as head coach of Cloud County going into year number 1, it was pretty late in the process, and a lot of guys had left the program, so you were really building a brand new team outside of the 2 players that you mentioned. And I know it was tough recruiting because you were so late to the game. Take me through the recruiting process now for this year, and how did you feel like things went for you and Coach Grantham? Yeah,
I mean, this year we got a chance to vet out everybody a little bit more, and really make sure from a culture standpoint and from an on and off the court standpoint, like we brought in guys who fit our vision for the program, not necessarily just from what they can do on a basketball court, but like are they guys who are willing to be held accountable? Are they guys who, like, we talk a lot about, like, hey, the only stat that matters is if Cloud County ends up with a win or a loss. That's the only stat that we care about, and how can you contribute to that? And some nights, like, you're going to be asked to contribute to that, and it may not be from scoring points. It may not be from having the ball in your hands. So we were looking for guys like that, and I think we were able to really go across the country. Coach Grantham has great connections out in the Carolinas. He did a ton of work out there this past spring and summer. Get some guys from the Midwest, that sort of thing, guys who we really felt like had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, because I feel like that was what we really talked to about our returners and communicated to them is like, man, we got something to prove here, and we don't want anybody in our locker room or stepping on the court for us every day in practice who doesn't feel like they have something to prove. And so that's honestly the biggest thing that we were looking for from a recruitment standpoint is guys who are willing to go out there and prove it every single day in practice, in the classroom. And if you do that, then it'll show up on game day.
3 transfers into the program as well. And we hear a lot of discussion, at Division I levels about now, NIL and transfer portal and how that's kind of changing recruiting at that level. And then it all kind of gets funneled down, right, where it impacts then everybody else, including junior college programs too. Tell me a little bit about working with transfers, bringing those guys in. And do you like the fact that these are guys that have experience, have been sought after by some pretty high-level programs, and maybe have a hunger now to be able to want to come here and compete?
Yeah, no, I mean, with transfers, you're able to get some experience, like you said, and get some guys who have had their feet put to the fire and kind of been through it a little bit. And then you just got to vet it out and see, are they guys who are coming in with that chip on their shoulder that we're looking for? And the two, other than MJ, we knew from working with him in the second semester that he had a chip on his shoulder. He was somebody, who we wanted to bring in and who was about the right things. And then with Sam, Acott, and DJ Holloway, just getting to know those guys through the recruiting process. I mean, you walk in the gym every morning, Sam's one of the first guys you see getting shots up, and and he's bringing guys to the gym with him. And so that was a big thing for us is through the recruiting process. Obviously Quill knew him pretty well, and he's told me, Coach, he's going to work, he's going to work for the right reasons. And so that was a big part for us and why we wanted to bring him here. And with DJ, DJ's a guy, he's got a bulldog mentality where he's going to compete every single day. He's going to sit down and guard, and he's going to bring an intensity to practice. And sometimes it gets a little heated with him, but we like that because there's never a day where DJ isn't looking to make somebody better, and he's willing to get on somebody to do that and have a little bit of conflict. And so having two guys like that who understand what it takes to get better every day, and there's going to be some tough times in order to do that. I think that was the biggest thing for us when we brought those 2 guys in that we were most excited about.
Deep roster, a lot of new faces into the mix as well. What's been the conversation with your returners? Quill, Amari, Sincere, even Sam and MJ that have been around a little bit now. And I don't know that they realize how important maybe they are to laying the foundation and helping to create the culture that you want to establish here at Cloud County. But what has been the conversation with them about bringing these new faces in and how you want them to maybe set the tone of what is still to come with the season ahead?
Yeah, I mean, the conversation has basically been whatever you can do to win. We have a winners board that we keep throughout the preseason and into the season, and we put it on our door to go out to the hallway into the gym every day. We update it, and so we're constantly on those guys about how are you affecting winning. Yesterday in practice, for example, our returners got something done, and then I subbed them out and then told them hey, it's time for you guys to make sure these incoming freshmen, these new guys, can get this done. You guys have shown me that you understand it. Help these guys get it done, and they've been great at doing that. They've done a great job with it, and just helping them understand that they have to show these new guys that it's not just all about putting the ball in the basket or having the ball in your hands. There's a ton of other things in college basketball that go into winning. And I think talking to our talking to our returners about like, hey, we didn't bring guys in who weren't capable of understanding that. Like the new guys that we brought in from Caden Chatham, like they got third in state at Evanston. Ike Brooks, Al Brooks, like they got fourth at state with Rich Township. Cameron Williams, Deontez Walker, like they were winners out in South Carolina, guys who approached the game the right way. And so helping our returners and those new guys kind of mesh and everything from that standpoint.
And that's maybe one thing that being around sports as long as I've been around now, that probably gets taken for granted. And there's some really talented kids that come from programs that may not have had success, right? But one of the things that's tough to shake is that mentality with accepting or being okay with being on the losing side if they've been from a program that hasn't had much success, or on the opposite side, again, coming in with that winner's mentality, like they know what it's like to be to that mountaintop or to compete at a high level, that hopefully is going to raise then the expectations for the team as a whole.
Yeah. And I mean, a big thing that we've talked about with all of our guys, from the guys who are returning to the guys who are transfers to the guys that are brand new to playing college basketball, is just like you're going to have to sacrifice something. We're all going to have to sacrifice something to get to where we want to go. And, they've been receptive to that, and they've been working towards that. And some days, like, you may sacrifice one thing, and then the next day you may be asked to sacrifice something else in order to get our team to where we're trying to go.
One last recruiting question for you, but there's a lot of Kansas kids in the mix this year as well. Of course, a local product in Peyton Redder out of Concordia High School in Concordia, Kansas. Nearby, Jack Scotchney out of Clifton Clyde High School. Willow Tot from Marysville. Ben Nicholson from Great Bend. I know you also have Kamari Holt from Wichita. So there's a lot of Kansas kids in the mix. Tell me a little bit about recruiting close to home as well, and being able to find some talent that may go overlooked by a lot of teams, and being able to, again, kind of, have access to talent that you've been able to watch because they play in this area so often.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you hit it right on the head with, that talent may go overlooked by a lot of people because they don't play at big schools or something like that, or for big AAU programs, but like those guys are a huge part of our program and as big a part of our program every single day in practice as anybody. And that's for the reasons that we touched on earlier, as far as like, we think that they're winners, and we've been able to see them up close and personal, from being like Peyton's, obviously he was right across the street for 4 years. Jack was 20 minutes down the road. Will was playing in the same league as Concordia. Ben played with those guys in AAU, so like we were able to get to know him pretty well and what he was about. Kamari played for probably one of the best programs in the state in Wichita Heights, that's in the 6A state tournament every single year, and we got a chance to watch him compete down at the state tournament in Wichita, and it was like that. Those are the kind of guys that we want to bring in, guys with an edge, guys that compete every day, and like from that standpoint, like the kids that we've got from Kansas, the recruits that we brought in, like we feel really good about, like there are kind of guys who come every day ready to work and are willing to sacrifice and for the team, but are also like trying to get better at their craft at the same time and expect great things from themselves.
How has the preseason gone to this point?
I mean, I think it's been going pretty well. Like there's been some really competitive days in practice, and that's what you want to see from a coaching standpoint, is like not all days are going to be good where you walk out of practice and you're like, man, we had a really good one today. But from a coaching standpoint, you always want to walk out of practice and feel like, hey, I think we got better, but there was definitely some adversity that we had to try to handle, and hopefully the goal is to handle it the right way every day. Obviously, we're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, so they don't. But then you come back the next day and you try to handle the same adversity better. You try to handle some different adversity in a better way, and you try to challenge our guys in different ways. And that's been a big focus for us, is just challenging our guys in different ways and everything, and seeing how they respond, and then coaching them up on that. Then we're able to do that in practice, and then we get to go out and see how they respond to doing it in these preseason scrimmages and these jamborees. And, for the most part, I think it's went pretty well. We still have a lot of room to grow. And I think, we got a lot of new guys on the team and from a chemistry standpoint and everything like that. But I think, we're getting there.
You competed at the All-American Jamboree in Wichita, followed it up last weekend with the Mullen Mitchell Blowout JUCO Jamboree down in Fort Worth, Texas. Had an opportunity to see 3 different teams each at these Jamborees. What's the value of these Jamborees?
I think, the value for us is I think we played a really tough schedule in both of those jamborees. We played some really good teams that were really well coached, that have, some teams that are basically in the national tournament every single year. And so the value is that our guys, they get to go see how their work has been measuring up, how the things that we've been preaching to them and been on them about doing every single day, saying that these things matter, how have they been doing on that? And, then we get to see all right, here are some holes in our game, our attack as a team. And we get to come back to practice, work on it for a week, emphasize those things, and then see if we can improve on them. And, our main goal going into these preseason scrimmages, these jamborees and everything is I just tell our guys, I'm just looking for us to grow as a team. Here's what we want to do. Here's how we measure success as a team. And we just want to see us moving in the right direction. If we're still in the same spot at week 2 of jamborees that we were at week 1, then we got to address that. And so, that's how we're kind of approaching it. Just because it's about building towards success in the long run. And we want our guys to see that, and not get super caught up early on in the scoreboard and everything, but more so how are we building towards success for the future.
T-Bird's going to be at the Home Field Showcase Center in Kansas City, Kansas this week for the MoKan Jamboree, matching up with Southeastern Community College and Highland Community College. And then again, a road trip to McPherson College Saturday, October 25th for the final preseason exhibition contest. Last year at this time, as we were sitting down and discussing you going into year number 1, and kind of talking about, the previous head coach, Devin Kastrup, how are you going to be similar? How are you going to be different? One of the things that you told me was, Devin, I think, prided himself on the defensive side of the ball. You want to do the same. You want to have guys that really get after it defensively, that they're hardworking guys that are going to try to do what they can to outwork that other team, right, each time that you step on the floor. I've been watching you practice in the preseason to this point, and I feel like that's been a huge emphasis for you. Is that still the goal, the mindset coming in to year number 2, that, hey, we want to be the team that tries to hold our opponents to such a low scoring total and points per game and shooting average, and we want to get after it on the defensive side and wear them down?
Yeah. And I think, that's still the goal and everything, with Coach Kastrup's teams and everything. I think our team's probably, the goal is to play a little bit more up tempo and everything, and so we may not be able to hold them to as low of a score on the defensive end as they were, just because of the amount of possessions.
And partly it's because you feel more offensively talented too, right? You can be able to extend things out, get up the floor, run. You may be getting quick looks that's going to give the other team more possessions.
Yeah, exactly. But that is where we want to pride ourselves, is on the defensive end. We talk a lot about, we want to win games when shots aren't falling. We want to win games when, hey, nobody's shots falling tonight. We want to pride ourselves on getting stops, being first to the floor, rebounding. And, I think last year we didn't have, everybody saw the lineups with the size. We didn't have the same size that we probably do on paper this year. And so we're looking to hold ourselves to a very high standard on the defensive end, and sit down and guard every single night.
What do you like the most about this group of guys right now?
I think their versatility. We got a lot of versatile guys, and I don't want to name names because I don't want to miss anybody, but they're versatile on the court and they're versatile off the court. there's not very often that you see very many guys on our team just hanging out with certain guys off the court. Like everybody kind of, for the most part early on here is, hanging out, getting along, and you love to see that as a coach because then, it transpires to on the court and everything with, different people play well together and you're able to experiment with different lineups and everything. And then from a play style standpoint, like we've got a lot of guys who do a lot of things really well. And that's fun to coach just because, you can experiment with different lineups and everything like that.
They're talkative.
Yeah. No,
I watch you practice and I can feel a lot of passion from these guys. Is it tough to rein them in though too? Because sometimes that passion maybe extends too far.
Like sometimes we talk, sometimes we're like, guys, we got to focus here. We got to focus. But from a coaching standpoint, it's probably a good problem to have because it's not like they're unfocused on the bad things, like they don't want to be at practice. They're enjoying being around each other. They're enjoying competing. And so like, it's a good problem to have for the most part because they are talkative. They do like to compete. And so like, there'll be some days, there's a lot of days where, one team will be working the other one and like, they're going to say something and then they're going to go back and forth a little bit. It's going to create a good energy in the gym where, those guys feel like, hey, we're really competing. I'm making my teammates better. He's making me better. I'm not giving him any reps off, that sort of thing.
The season officially tips off Friday, October 31st as the T-Birds head up to Iowa for the Meridian Credit Union Classic hosted by Indian Hills Community College. Cloud County will see William Penn University JV Friday, October 31st at 4:30 p.m. and then take on Indian Hills Community College on Saturday, November 1st at 3:30. A team that you battled well at their place last year. On the heels of that, you'll be back up in Iowa and West Burlington for the Culver's Midwest Classic, taking on State Fair Community College and Missouri State University West Plains. That comes November 7th and 8th. And then the home opener finally November 12th against Kansas Wesleyan University JV. That'll tip at 8 p.m. The grind is here. We're ready to go.
Yep, it is. These guys, they put the work in, obviously this is the part that they look forward to. As a coach, you love the preseason, you love practice because you're building a team. But these guys, they're probably ready to start playing some regular season games.
Coach, best of luck in the year ahead. I'm sure we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for being here.
Yep, thank you.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 early bird scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
My thanks to Cloud County Community College head men's basketball coach Kyle Pugh for joining us this week on T-Bird Talk. And we want to wish all the best to the Cloud County Community College men's basketball team as they continue through the preseason in preparation for the 2025-2026 year. Tomorrow, Cloud County is heading to Kansas City, Kansas, in the Home Field Showcase Center for the MoKan Jamboree. Cloud County will be taking on Southeastern Community College at 3:45 Friday afternoon and Highland Community College at 6:15 Friday night. Again, the season opener comes Friday, October 31st, when the T-Birds match up with William Penn University JV at the Meridian Credit Union Classic, hosted by Indian Hills Community College. The home opener for Cloud County is Wednesday, November 12th, when the T-Birds will match up with Kansas Wesleyan University JV. You can see a full schedule online at cloudtbirds.com. The Cloud County Community College women's basketball team is working towards their start to the 2025-2026 season. Just last night, Cloud County hosted a preseason matchup against Bethany College at home. The Cloud County Community College women's basketball team now heads to Lawrence, Kansas this Sunday and the Sports Pavilion for the Mid-America Showcase. Sunday afternoon at 12:20 p.m., Cloud County will take on the Southeast Community College Bobcats before squaring off with Connor State College at 2:40 Sunday afternoon. Cloud County will have one more exhibition game awaiting them on Thursday, October 23rd, when they'll travel to Gross Memorial Coliseum in Hays, Kansas, to take on Fort Hays State University. The T-Birds, under Cloud County Hall of Fame coach Brett Erkenbrack, officially tip off the 2025-2026 season on Saturday, November 1st at 2 p.m. when Cloud County hosts Concordia University JV. Of course, all home games will be streamed live on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. We'll be talking more about the Cloud County Community College women's and men's basketball programs in the weeks ahead. We'll also preview the start to the 2025-2026 season for the Cloud County Community College wrestling team next week. Now, the Cloud County Community College volleyball team dropped a non-conference road match to Central Community College in 3 sets last night at Raider Fieldhouse in Columbus, Nebraska. Despite strong play, the T-Birds fell 25-27, 23-25, 24-26. With the loss, Cloud County falls to 6-23 overall, while Central Community College improves to 14-13 on the year. Cloud County returns to Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference action this Saturday when they travel to Hutchinson to face the Hutchinson Blue Dragons. Now, Hutchinson is currently 12-15 overall and 4-8 in conference play. The Blue Dragons have lost 4 of their last 5 matches, including a 4-set road loss to Garden City Community College Wednesday night. Hutchinson has won 19 straight meetings over Cloud County, including earning a 4-set win over the T-Birds on September 17th of this year, 23-25, 25-19, 16-25, 12-25. In that match, sophomore outside hitter Isa Caroline Da Silva recorded 9 kills for Cloud County. Freshman Elizabeth Schuster also tallied 9 kills on a .400 attack percentage with 3 blocks, while sophomore Carly Colgren added 8 kills. Redshirt freshman setter Addison Ogle contributed 34 assists and 4 digs. Sophomore libero Beatrice Giusti added 17 digs, while sophomore Rachel Shakeen tallied 8 digs. Now, first serve of Saturday's match is scheduled for 6 p.m. at the Hutchinson Sports Arena in Hutchinson, Kansas. The following week, the Cloud County Community College volleyball team will host their final 2 home matches of the 2025 season. On Wednesday, October 22nd at 6:30 p.m., Cloud County will take on Seward County Community College in Kansas Jayhawk Community College conference play. And then on Saturday, October 25th at 3 p.m., the T-Birds will host Dodge City Community College for Sophomore Day. Both matches will be played at Arlie Bryan Gymnasium on the college's Concordia campus, and we'll stream the action for you live on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. Of course, you can keep on top of everything that's happening in Cloud County athletics by visiting that athletic website at cloudtbirds.com or by following us on our social media channels. Like and follow Cloud County Athletics on Facebook and Instagram, or give us a follow on X at CCCC Sports. New episodes of T-Bird Talk drop each Thursday, so make sure you're subscribed to the program on your favorite podcast platforms. T-Bird Talk is a production of the Cloud County Community College Athletic Department.